Hey everybody, did you know you can go to colinmullen.com in order to get art and art prints? That's why I set up the website, colinmullen.com. So hey everybody, before we get into today's thing, I want to talk about this art that I'm doing. I'm just finishing up some of the design work for the rebrand, stuff that I've been meaning to do for like a year, but life kept getting in the way, and I finally got around to it. So these are some emotes for Twitch. If you're a sub on Twitch, you'll have access to them. If you're on my Patreon/ Twitch sub Discord thing, then you have access to them there as well. I'm going to try and make some of the older ones that were more popular that got replaced by these available at tiers 2 and 3, but regardless, I'm pretty happy with how these turned out. I might do a little tweaks, such as adding a white border around some, just so that way they can like kind of pop on dark mode and stuff more. But aside from that, I'm pretty good with this. So anyway, let's talk about today's subject. So today I was gonna talk about this article that I was linked. It's from the New York Times, and it says, "Why culture has come to a standstill." Unfortunately, it's behind a paywall, so I'll never understand or know why they think that culture has come to a standstill. I guess in order to know anything about culture, you'll have to get past their paywall. I don't think the irony really has like come across to them on that. So instead, I'm talking about something a little bit more important, and that is protester or like activist burnout. This is a thing that happens a lot. If you're a person who cares about the world, you're gonna hit this burnout eventually. So again, let me reiterate what burnout is. I've talked about it before in the terms of art, but let's talk about it again in the terms of activism. Burnout is when you try very, very hard to make something happen. For instance, get good at art, get successful at your career, whatever. Like, you're pushing forward to try and make more money, you're trying to push forward to do the things that you're trying to do, but no matter how hard you try, your efforts don't seem to pay off in the degree that you would really like. This obviously happens with activism as well. That there are things outside your control that you cannot change, and it feels bad when you know that. When you see how hard you're working, that you're spending day and night working on trying to fix the world, trying to make things better, and then you look around and you're like, things are still bad. Why are things still bad? I'm trying so hard. Let me tell you that this is a thing that I have a lot of issues with personally. This is just caring about the world in general is something that I do a lot, and I try to not hold the entire weight of the world on my shoulders, but I do. And I know a lot of you guys do as well. I think that like I've somehow curated a community of people who care. So I want to give some advice that I was actually given back when I was doing a lot of stuff in Occupy Austin. By a guy named Frog, and Frog was a cool dude. Frog was a really cool dude, and he told me once when I was expressing these kind of concerns that, like, look, we're trying to do all these things, but just like, things aren't changing fast enough, you know? Things aren't being fixed. I'm putting in, like, sleepless days, and I still gotta go to school, I still gotta go to work, I still gotta, like, stream, I still gotta do all these things, but, like, man, nothing's changing, you know? And he said, listen, take care of yourself first, then the movement. And I think it's the same sort of logic as when you get on a plane, they give you that spiel of how to survive a car or a plane crash, right? And they're like, hey, if you know, when the oxygen masks come down, put yours on first, then help out the people next to you. And the reason for that is that you will probably not survive long enough to put on someone else's than your own. And if you're both trying to do that for each other, no one actually gets a mask on and everyone just suffocates, and that's not good. It's the same kind of thing. And like, you can only put so much effort in as an individual person. And this is a reason that we probably need to get together as groups and do these things. And I've talked about third spaces and the lack of free, easy to access third spaces where we can go, we can get together, and we can talk and have things like this. Just doesn't really exist anymore. I don't know when that went away. Again, I recommend the book Bowling Alone, which has a lot of recommendations, or has a lot of talk about this. It's a really solid book about just like, where is our social capital, our ability to interact with each other, and our ability to just have flesh friends, you know what I mean? Like, digital friends you meet online are good, but having people that you meet in person to hang out with, especially in an affordable way, is very difficult. And so it just feels like you've got the entire weight of the world on yourself. And social media has exacerbated this to some degree, where it's like, there's this bad thing happening, and there's this other bad thing happening, and who's responsible and who's supposed to be taking care of it? Well, like politicians in a lot of cases, and half of them don't want to do anything, and the other half are making it worse. So what are we gonna do? How do we make the world a better place when they're the people who are supposed to be taking care of us? And why is it that I have to deal with the homelessness problem? Why do I have to take care of that myself when there could be other people doing that, helping? And the thing is that there are other people actually fighting this fight too. You are not alone. You are not the only person trying to make the world a better place. So if you need to take a step back for a minute, if you need to take care of yourself for a minute, I know it feels like, unlike with burnout with art, where you could just go, okay, I need to take a step back from this for a minute, feel better about myself, then I can try and do art again. There's this very human cost of time spent away from trying to make the world a better place is measured in human lives suffering and dying. And you can only do so much, you know? And like the oxygen mask thing, what good is that? What good are you if you can't give your all, or you're giving 50% because you're burned out, because you're exhausted? You don't have to have a take on everything. You don't have to fix everything. Start with yourself, then move outwards. Make sure that you're okay. Take care of yourself. Then take care of those immediately around you, like who you consider your family. Then your friends. Then move on out from there to your community, your local community. I mean, like a mile or two radius around you. And then from there, move on out further. Go on to like, how do I help my city? How do I help my state? How do I help my country? How do I help the world? But it all starts at take care of yourself first. Put your own oxygen mask on first, else you will suffocate before you can help anyone else, and you will not be able to accomplish the goals you want to. I know that this hurts to hear. Trust me, this is a problem that I still have. Despite being told exactly the things that I'm telling you right now, I still have a problem with this. And I just have to accept that I don't have the power to do everything myself. We have a limited number of hours in our lives that we can spend in whatever way we can. We gotta go to work, we gotta go to school, we gotta sleep, we gotta eat, we gotta brush our teeth. These things take time away from activism that you can't get that time back. And then at the end of the day, memento mori, we all die at some point, and there's only so much work and so much good that a single person can do. Talked to my therapist about this before. I said, like, look, like, there are bridges collapsing in America, but also cancer still hasn't been solved, right? I can't fix both of those things. I know nothing about how to cure cancer. I know nothing about how to fix a bridge, but these are things that are very important, right? And it's not that I don't care about those things. It's just that, like, I don't have the ability to do all of these things. And so part of this goes into, what are the things that you're really, really gonna focus on? What are the things that you're gonna be about? What is your thing that you have to do? And you'll notice that with a lot of this, you're gonna end up doing some collateral good. You're gonna end up affecting communities that are completely irrelevant to what you think. For me, homelessness is a huge deal. And in trying to combat homelessness, I realized that inadvertently, I really needed to care about LGBT people, because there is a pipeline of people being bad and awful to their kids, and that leading to homelessness. You take that out of the equation, you get a lot of homelessness off the streets. You get a lot of people into loving houses. You get a lot of people into situations where they are taken care of and they can get it together. So while I'm doing my work in the things that I care about, the things that I have the emotional, physical, and mental capacity to actually do any good about, I just have to hope that there are other people out there doing good work too. And they are trying to cure cancer, and they are trying to fix bridges, and they are trying to do all these things. And that doesn't mean that I don't care about those things. It doesn't mean that I don't care about starving kids in other countries or in our country. It just means that, like, I cannot do everything myself. And so I just have to be realistic about what my ability and my efforts are going to be able to achieve in the limited amount of time that I have on this earth. And that is hard to hear, I know. But please, put your oxygen mask on first before you try and help those around you. Anyway, if you like the art I do, the things I say, and just want to throw money at a random stranger on the internet, I'm here. You could do that to me. And you could go to patreon.com/RevScarecrow if you'd like to do that and support me in the things that I do. People at the $5 tier or more get an extra special thing where they get into that Discord I was talking about earlier, and you get a shout out at the end of the video, which is what these people did, starting with my mom and dad. I love you. Thank you, Wapfu. Thank you, Tofoundor. Thank you, Tiffany. Thank you, Skelecorgi. Thank you, Reverend Joe. Thank you, Retrograde. Thank you, Mortis. Thank you, Maliciousness. Thank you, Kayla Hollinger. Thank you, Gala. Thank you, Gabriel Bennett. Thank you, Freak Wannabe. Thank you, Egg. Thank you, Dragon. Thank you, Chiptune Glitch. Thank you, Bunglepaws. Thank you, Blake. Thank you, Bep. Thank you, BD648. Thank you, Amber. Thank you, Acrobus. And thank you, Ats! Ooh, that was a good one. Anyway, I hope this was helpful to you. If it's not, I'm sorry. But just know that you're not the only one who's going through this, and you're not the only one who's feeling this way. And, you know, take care of yourself, because I don't know what good you can do if you don't have the energy to actually do the good, right? Anyway, that's it for me for now. I will see you guys in the next video. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and I will see you there.